Before you knew it, I got a call that I had gotten the job and I was on my way to London and I was about to do World War Z.
So you were in San Diego.
Yeah.
And then at 11, you're like, you got this movie role with Brad Pitt. So you're going to go to London. And now you just see another side of the world that is like, wait a second. There's no Mexicans over here. Like, what's going on?
I asked someone on set, I was like, hey, is this movie going to be in theaters? And people busted out laughing. And this woman goes, I got 2 words for you, Brad Pitt.
Talk to me about Mr. Iglesias. And how was that experience working with Fluffy?
Great. Another great person.
Was there ever a point when you felt like, oh, man, I can't continue doing this?
This is the True Hustle Podcast with your host, JR.
This is the True Hustle Podcast with your host, JR.
Fabricio, my brother. You shared the stage with, I did some research.
Okay.
Like Brad Pitt, Fluffy, Kate Hudson.
Yes.
Like, brother, like, that's pretty dope, man.
It is.
And you know what makes it doper? You're from LA.
Born and raised.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that. What?
First off, man, I absolutely love my city. Like, every time I have to go anywhere else to, like, work, bro, I get homesick. I love the experience of traveling, but I do get really homesick. I start fantasizing about the palm trees here. And they're not even from here, which is crazy. Did you know that?
Where did they come from, though?
I don't know. They're supposed to have, like, 100-year lifespan.
Uh-huh.
And I heard they're pretty close to dying. Like, they're all just gonna...
So, they have 100-year lifespan, so ya cuando se les acaba el tiempo...
They just fall.
They just fall and then...
That's what I heard.
Plant some new ones?
Yeah, so the city is contemplating whether they're gonna plant some new palm trees or they're gonna trade out and switch them to, like, trees that'll actually benefit the environment and clean the air.
What do you think would be the best option?
I don't know. I mean, LA's palm trees are kind of like the attraction, you know? I feel like do both.
Yeah. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more tropical, right? They were brought here and planted here, and then it gave us the, palm trees, but they weren't really like here.
Mm-mm. No.
That's a great point. But what would they replace them with? Like, what trees are better for the environment, for, the oxygen purposes? Like, I have no clue.
Maybe something with shade, bro, because a palm trees, it's a match.
Shit. That's true. But what gets you, like, going back to you being homesick?
Uh-huh.
What gets you homesick? The bomb-ass food that we have here or the bomb-ass weather?
Dude, I'm a big food person. I miss food.
We're gonna get along right here.
I mean, if those are my 2 options, clearly my people here, family and everything. But yeah, dude, I start missing the food. Unless, I just miss it as a whole. But if I'm in a place where, like, it has good food, I can hold up. But there'll be days where I do start missing, like, certain things that I love.
I just think I'm gonna use Seattle, Washington as an example.
Okay.
Right? I'm not picking on them, okay? But I'm saying, if you are in LA, sunshine, palm trees, bomb-ass Mexican food, and then you have to go work to Seattle for 2 to 3 months where it rains heavily, I could see you getting homesick, bro. Yeah. That's just a lot for me.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that you could just take me for months from this beautiful weather and put me in Seattle and I'm going to be just jolly.
Don't get me wrong, bro. I like it. I like the experience. I like trying something new. I like finding my way in a new city. I like finding new food spots, feeling like I did something, discovered something. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, I will get homesick.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I've been there and I love the experience, but I love it for 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
And then I got to come back home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I know you also do stand-up comedy. Yeah. So, I want to know what comes first, the acting or stand-up? Or what came first? Or both?
What came first, like, in my life?
Yes.
The acting. Yeah, bro. I started acting when I was a kid.
Well, you look really young, bro. I think you...
when I was
still kind of a kid,
like,
well, especially for me because I'm like in my 40s.
You can't put my face in the yearbook, bro. Like, no, this is back when I was a little kid. I must have been like, so I grew up in the theater. Like my mom, she was a theater actress, right? So I kind of like would go to school. After school, I like pop in and just kind of do my homework at the local theaters in LA. And just kind of like that community theater, there was like independent filmmakers that would kind of come in and out of the theater, and they'd talk to my mom and be like, hey, can we use your son for this scene? Like, we need a kid. And mom would like ask him, and then they'd go and ask me, and I'd be like, yeah, I want to do it. So I started doing like these little short films at the time, and then I must have been like 5 years old. I took a liking to it, and my mom was like, hey, you really like this? I was like, yeah, that's something I want to do. I was obsessed with Spider-Man. So I was like, I want to be Spider-Man. I see Spider-Man, what everything Spider-Man is doing that looks like fun. I want to do that. It's like, all right, we're going to try and look for like an agent for you. So I got an agent when I was like 7. And I started going out for commercials. Okay. And I started doing really well commercially. Like I was doing a bunch of commercials a year. When I was like 10 or 11, my agent was like, hey, I want to take you on theatrically, which means, like for film and TV.
Okay.
And I was like, perfect. Finally, my shot at Spider-Man. Right? And he started sending me out. I started to go out. And I think the first thing that I booked might have been a guest spot on Grey's Anatomy.
That's huge.
Yeah.
The only reason why I say Grey's Anatomy, because as soon as you say Grey's Anatomy, my wife watches it. They're all nurses. So all of them, they're all super into it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm like, good. Grey's Anatomy is pretty dope. So then?
After Grey's Anatomy, I mean, this is like, I'm really compacting the story, but probably like a year after that, I had gone out for this audition. It was like the first time I got to go into like a studio, actually like a studio that I like recognized and drove by. So it was Paramount, right? I was like, all right, I'm going to go and audition for this role. I didn't know what the scope of this movie would be. And then before you knew it, like I got a call that I had gotten the job and I was on my way to London for 3 months and I was about to do World War Z. Yeah. And that experience changed my life, bro.
Oh, what
like as a person. Yeah. I'd never really left my neighborhood. I'd never been on a plane. Actually, I'm lying. I'd been to Tijuana. That's about it. But that just seems so normal to me. So it was like an extension of where I was going. It was a lot of firsts, bro. I was like 11, 12 years old. Go to London, me and my mom. I'm there for 3 months, missing home, but also super excited for everything London had to offer and just showing me that there was another world outside of my neighborhood, bro. Like, there's another world outside of LA.
I could just imagine the impact that had on you at such a young age.
Yeah.
Because at the time you were living where in LA?
At that time, I actually wasn't in LA. I was in SD.
So you were in San Diego.
Yeah.
And then at 11, you're like, you got this movie role with Brad Pitt. Mm-hmm. So you're going to go to London. And now you just see another side of the world that is like, wait a second. There's there's no Mexicans over here. Like, what's going on?
At the time, I didn't understand the scope of what this movie was, and I'll tell you why. Because there was a day that I got onto set, and I'd already been there a couple of days. I'd already been working with Brad, and I asked someone on set, I was like, hey, is this movie going to be in theaters? And people busted out laughing, and this woman goes, I got 2 words for you, Brad Pitt. And I was like, all right, but is this going to be in theaters? Because I've never seen myself in the theater. It was just that innocence, used to working, in that indie world. But yeah, I didn't understand the scope. And still, London today, still, like, I learned so much being there, man.
Like, what are some of the lessons that London taught you? Just in general.
The big thing for me was, like, it opened up my world. I was so, on top of being, like, a kid and your world is just, like, your friends, the neighborhood, just the people around you. When I got back, I remember I got back and I just kind of had like a different drive. I had more that I wanted to see. I knew that like I just knew people were different in different places, and you know, we all shared similarity. But like a big moment for me was when I got back to the neighborhood. I didn't want to go out as much or go and do stuff, or maybe I wasn't so ready to like chomp at the bit when my friends were trying to like sneak into a school or just do some reckless stuff. And they'd be like, bro, like, why you being a punk? They used to tell me, ever since you got back from London, you being a punk, for lack of a better word. They just call me a punk. You can imagine what they were really calling me. But I was like, nah, bro, like I kind of, there's more out there. You guys don't understand. Like, and it didn't click. But yeah, that for me was big. It was like, dude, I think I can do more. I think I want to.
Just change your whole perspective on things.
Yeah.
And it's just so happened that you're at such age that you're just like, damn, dude, I'm like 12 or 11. Like, imagine if I continue in this route, what it could do for me. And I don't think they seen what you've seen, so it's easy for them to put judgment on you. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't in London with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
You know, about to be on the big screen.
I'm still friends with these guys today, and I love them.
And what do they say?
What do they say now, bro?
Yeah.
They're so proud of me, man.
Yeah, they ain't calling you names no more, huh?
No. And I absolutely love them. And it's, you know, through our kind of upbringing, we've always kind of relied on each other for advice, right? But I feel like just me kind of getting to see a little bit more of the world, I've been like, yo, this is what I saw. It's not worth it. Don't do that. There's always more life. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just, I feel like the blessings and positive things that I've been able to see in my life and been able to share with them has impacted us. And sometimes when I'm not feeling that good, or when I'm not, maybe like when I'm feeling down and I forget the things that I'm trying to achieve, trying to accomplish, they'll be like, yo, don't be stupid, dude. You have this going for you. You have all this. So it's a beautiful relationship that we have in that sense.
Maybe you were that shining star to them. Like when you got back and you gave them hope. You know what I mean? Because what you seen there, you came back and they were probably like, oh man, shit, we could do it. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
You know, let's hope that was the case.
Hope.
You know what I mean? So then, oh man, so you get back. Did that open a lot of doors for you?
World War Z?
Yes.
I don't know, man. I can't really draw a clear line to it. I know that when I got back, probably like a year after the film trailer started releasing, I went to do the premiere in New York, which is super cool too. First time in New York, and I was up for a show, and I know they saw me doing press, like you know, doing interviews, and that was it was a very impressive to them. It was important that like a young kid could carry themselves well in an interview. So I feel like that was enticing to them to try and get me on the show. And I got on the show because, I mean, I hope my acting, but like to them it was like, okay, this is someone that can promote the show. Cool.
That's dope. Now, I know you were really young, right? Like when you first got that role.
Yeah.
And I've always had this question, like, do you think you were so young that being involved in such a film made you grow up faster? Or no? Because you were so young. Do you live in Southern California and are you looking to buy, sell, or refinance one of your properties? What better agent to represent you than the host of True Hustle Podcast? Go ahead, give us a call or send us a text at 323-352-7946. Now let's get back to the episode, baby.
I don't know if I would know. I don't know if I have anything to compare it to. I don't think like I was cheated out of a childhood or anything like that. No. Yeah,
because I know I see a lot of young actors that feel like I mean, it must be a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? That's why I asked. I'm just curious about it.
No, I can imagine it is, especially for maybe a young person that gets everything right away. Right. I feel like my journey was a lot slower. It was like, do that one film, wait, the premiere, keep working at it, hope that you can get something else. And then, you know, I found myself in a difficult place to try and build a career when you're younger, when you get to the ages of like 16, 17-ish, because at that point you can't work as an adult, and there's kids that are 18 that look like they're 16, so they can hire them to work way more hours than you can, so they hire them as an adult. So you're 16 and you're trying to get this role, but the 18-year-olds keep getting it, the 18-year-olds keep getting it, and it's frustrating. So I went through like years of like me putting my best foot forward, trying to do my best, and then just like coming short of the fact that like, oh, okay, he's not actually legal 18. When I was like 16 and a half, I took this thing called the CHESP, which is a California high school proficiency exam. You take it and you graduate early in the state of California, and you're considered legal 18. And once I took that, it was actually a huge kind of like knock on my confidence at the time when I was a kid. It was like, bro, I feel like I'm punching the air, like nothing's giving. I'm doing my best, right? Yeah. And when I took the CHESP, I remember I was like, you know what, I'm gonna treat this like a clean slate. I'm gonna let everything go. I'm not gonna let like the past kind of determine the future. I'm gonna just start clean. And sure enough, I went and did my first couple auditions, having the CHESP now under my belt, working legal 18, and I booked a small role, and then was like another small role, and I was so appreciative of just anything that I was getting, bro. And that started to become a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger. Before I knew it, I was 18. And getting even more roles. Taking other 16-year-old roles. Yeah, now. So
now it changed. Now you were the 18-year-old taking.
Yeah. When I was 18. So if there's any young people listening, man, if you can and this is what you love, don't quit. You'll be 18 soon enough. It really doesn't feel like anything, bro. It's just a couple years, but you'll be 18 soon enough.
Maybe, but it is frustrating. And I think sometimes people feel it's easier to just give up.
Yeah, and that is I love it, so I can't.
Yeah, I think when you love something and you're passionate about something, it'll get you through. Sometimes you do feel like quitting, and it's like, oh man, fuck this, But when you love something enough, when you are passionate and you love something so much, it will get you through, Yeah.
I also had my mom, who's a huge support system, and like I said, she acts in theater, and she's pursued acting in film and TV as well. But I've seen my mom, she's really responsible for kind of my journey and just opening up that world of the arts.
Really?
She's first generation Mexican American, and she's this little girl from the hood, bro, that just had this dream that she wanted to be on TV, and everyone thought she was crazy. She was like, people would tell her like, that's not for us, it's not for people like us, and she just was so persistent, dude. She's so persistent in trying to make this happen, and just this little kid just calling Nickelodeon, she would tell me,
no way,
that's weird. I don't know why she would do that. Now, looking back, I'm like, you better be careful. And she would just like call people that were like casting offices in Hollywood as a kid, and obviously they're not gonna do anything. But my mom has a huge track record of never quitting, never giving up. So if I ever feel like, oh man, I want to give up, I'm like, bro, no, you don't know what your mom has been through. You don't know what people before you have been through. Just, get back in there.
It's a reminder.
Absolutely.
And how's your relationship with your moms now?
Great.
It seems like she's super involved in everything that you do.
Yeah. My mom is she's been there for me at every point as a mother, as like a kind of momager, kind of. Yeah, my mom and I are great.
And what about your father?
Him too. My dad's been a huge support system, man. Like the times where, you know, it's hard to I guess financially support yourself as a child actor. And you know, the commercials were bringing in that revenue to be able to do so, right? But like, I mean, a dad's gonna do what a dad does, but it's like, I'm glad I had a place to live. Obviously, I was a kid, bro.
Yeah.
They weren't gonna kick me out of the house, you know. But like, just my dad was really good at managing, I guess, the financial aspect of it all, of me getting a commercial, and it wasn't just like me going and spending it somewhere or buying something dumb. Like, it was just like, no, hey, this is paying for gas, this is paying for your meals every time you go out. But yeah, all that aside, from like an emotional point of view, my parents have been there for me. Thank God.
You want to know something? This is what I think.
What's up?
That a lot of people, a lot of young actors don't pursue acting because of the lack of support from their parents.
Yeah.
Because you're right.
Yeah.
It might, for the majority, it might be a financial burden, right? So it's like, hearing that's dope, bro. That
It's
you've
dope.
had that support. And unfortunately, a lot of younger kids that want to pursue acting, you know, coming as a first generation, you know, Mexican American, it's like some of the parents or some of our parents will be like, ¿cuál acting? Ni que la chingada.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And you had that support system, man. Respects and salute to your parents, man. Because that's what the kids need.
It's a lot, bro.
It is.
It's a lot. It's the journey is so much goes on, dude, and it tests you and your family at every kind of point. I know a lot of people in the city that I grew up with that, you know, were child actors to maybe help even support their families. And that in itself, I can imagine, is so stressful on a person like me. I was supporting my own kind of career, right? Like I'd mentioned. But I know people that have like been breadwinners for their family, dude. Imagine being
at 11,
a kid.
like crazy.
I'm saying, imagine being a kid and feeling that responsibility that stays with you for a while if you don't go to therapy or whatever. And even then, I think you're not able to shake that off because it's just such a foundational piece of who you are.
Yeah, man. I could just imagine having that responsibility at such a young age.
Yeah.
Was there ever a point when you felt like, oh, man, I can't continue doing this?
Yeah.
And what kept you going?
Yeah. It was more discouragement than anything, right? It's just not seeing results. It's something you love to do and want to do, and you're not able to do it. It's frustrating. My mom, bro.
That's dope.
My mom. This conversation all falls back on my mom. I'll tell you what kind of lady she is. I remember when I'm like, I wanted to skateboard. I wanted to start skateboarding, and I did. And my mom told me I asked her if she could take me to the skate park one day. And she was like, yeah, I'll take you to the skate park. And I got to the skate park, bro, and I saw the ramp, and I was like, oh, this looked way cooler on TV.
It's different in person.
Yeah, it was different in person. And I didn't want to go down. And I was like, all right, I saw it. Let's go. And she was like, what? No. She said, you wanted to come to the skate park? Aviéntate. I was like, no, dude, that's really scary.
No me voy a quebrar el pie.
We got there when I just gotten out of school. It must have been like 4 o'clock. I was there till 10. I was at 10. Yeah.
What time did you go up on?
Shit.
At 10.
At 10?
So you were there.
Yeah, she didn't let me leave.
Oh, man, we need more mothers like that. She said, no.
Yeah,
this
bro.
is what you wanted.
She didn't let me leave. Yeah. And now, like, I always keep this in mind. I think it's such an important thing. So I'll say it. And I learned from one of my cousins. She's a Taekwondo instructor. And this stuck with me. And I learned this later on in my life. But it's such an easy little thing that I keep with me is just because you took a loss doesn't mean you're defeated.
True. Profound. I mean, it's short, but it's true. I just think people take defeat differently.
It's hard, bro.
Getting punched in the face is hard.
It's hard. Absolutely. It's hard.
But I think the mindset and the parental figures are very important.
Yeah.
And the people that you're surrounding yourself with.
Yeah.
It's like, defeat, it's not nice. Getting punched in the face is not nice. But you got to get up.
Yeah, man. I think as a young, impressionable person, it makes all the difference to have that guidance. If it comes in the form of my mom, if it comes in the form of my cousin who's a Taekwondo instructor with kids, she teaches kids. Just it takes that one person, bro, you know, that keeps you on the right track.
And we all need those.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not all kids have that.
No.
But I think it's our responsibility to try to bless as many people as possible, you know, with some type of encouragement, some type of like, you got this. Sometimes people need to hear that shit.
Yeah.
Like, you got this. It's okay. Especially, I think the older I get, the more life experience I get. So it's like,
I hope.
You know, like, and I'm like, I've been through some shit, you know, like I've been through defeat and this shit sucks, but it's like, oh, you got to keep going, bro.
I mean, what else are you going to do?
Give up?
And that's even worse.
You know, when you bring up your parents and it makes me happy because when I go through tough times, yes, believe it or not, when I go through my tough times, I look back and I think of my parents, immigrant parents.
Same.
You know, and I think about the things that they would tell me, like, ¿qué vas a hacer, cabrón? ¿Llorar? No, güey. Amárrate un huevo y dale.
Yeah.
Y síguele dando. No te ahogues en un vaso de agua.
Yeah.
And I look back at what my parents have done, and it motivates me. I'm like, dog, I can't.
Absolutely.
Just quit right now.
Absolutely. And you get this feeling of we've already come this far.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We're already here. You're already in this country. Like, that all plays in. And, I mean, that's a whole other topic, bro.
Yeah.
Like, coming from immigrants, and it's I'm sure we probably share the similar kind of state of mind of just, like, knowing how to function now, and the idea of boundaries and not being boundaries or whatever, trying to, you know, work your way around all that. But no, I get what you mean. I think of everyone before me, bro. Every
you
time.
have to, brother.
Yeah.
It's just life is gonna punch you in the face. You gotta get up every time. And unfortunately, this guy gets to see a lot of my, like, oh, I'm like fucking pissed sometimes, and he's like, damn. But you need to look at the bigger picture and then look at the people behind you that have been through worse things than you.
I think people talk a lot about, like, previous generations or your parents or even you being in this state of survival. You know, when I think of my grandparents, the topic of survival is right there with their experience. Same with my mom at times. And I feel like I'm the kind of the first in that generation to thrive, right? In the sense of, like, a career and stuff like that. I've been very fortunate. You know, we learned so much how to survive, but then how to thrive is a whole other ballgame, bro. Learning how to be confident, learning how to get through exactly what we're talking about. That's part of thriving, not being defeated. You know what I mean? It's a whole other thing that you're not, I guess, prepped for. I mean, the survival aspect, I guess, shows you some things, but to actually learn to accept it and not be so defensive when it's times where you need to bring your best, bro, that's a whole other thing that you got to learn.
That's a great point.
So you're so conditioned to survive, and you get to a room of people that have been taught and conditioned to thrive, and you're sitting there uncomfortable because you don't know what to do now.
Fuck, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
That's a great
It's
point.
two different things. If you're coming from a passive survival, bro, learning how to thrive is another mission. So if you thought you made it once you did the survival, bro, you got your homework cut out for you.
That's a great fucking point. So maybe we need to condition our kids to thriving instead of surviving. And then it goes through the generation, right? Because my parents went through X, Y, and Z, and now we've seen what they've gone through. So they pass the baton, we take it, and now we condition ourselves from that surviving to thriving, and that's the mentality that we need to put into our kids.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
It's a little bit of both.
Or a lot of both.
How did you feel when you were in the room with all these celebrities that you were starring with? Did you feel some type of way? Did you feel like, oh man, this is...
I always feel fortunate when I'm working or when I'm in a position of like just getting to do what I love, man. But I'll be honest. After being around the air, again, I was very young. Just being around Brad Pitt, that energy, the way the world responds to that man, getting to see that firsthand is it kind of, it's just anyone else that I've met, not to knock them, but it's just Brad's something else, bro. I'm just saying people go crazy for that man. So when I meet other celebrities, I've been around them for so long now. It's just, you recognize the human, but like actually someone that I think, hey, their life is like they can't even step out is definitely Brad.
He can't take a step out of his house without just people bombarding him.
And I met Brad at like the height of his relationship with Angelina. So them as a pair, bro.
Out of control.
Yeah.
You can't even fuck.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, bro. The nicest, coolest person ever. And I want to make an effort to say that because I feel like a lot of people that are coming up, like, they get fame. I feel like I've seen people start to carry themselves a little differently, give into that. This is someone that I don't know if he ever had that, if he ever gave into, kind of feeling himself some type of way. Sure, he's respectful, carries himself respectful, but like, I feel like he's just a person that's gone full circle, bro. He has nothing to prove. He just is who he is. So he's not in this. The way I see some celebrities that are a little newer to the game have certain conversation. Brad just wants to. He don't care if you're a celebrity, bro. He just wants to talk to you as a person because he's already gone through that whole journey. He doesn't care about the noise. He's not talking to you people about the career unless it's within his business. Like, it's just a man that wants to talk to you about life, what he likes, just simple like family stuff, what you're doing for Thanksgiving. You know what I mean?
Do you think it's because he's been around it so much and he's reached that height? Like, and he's just so humble and appreciative.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if it's because he's been around so much. That could be a factor. Maybe that's just him.
That's what I was saying. Or that's just who he is.
That's just him.
Because you're right. I think there's people that experience a lot of success really fast, that it changes who they are. And that, I don't think fame and money should change to alter who you are, but unfortunately it happens. And it's good to hear that. I've heard that a lot, though, that some of the biggest stars in Hollywood are like super cool, super humble. But then again, I've also heard otherwise,
Yeah, I think it's, like you said, I don't know it was this way from the jump, or if he's kind of just been in it for so long, bro.
Yeah.
And I think that applies for everyone.
But shout out to Brad Pitt for being a
Huge
good
shout
guy.
out. A gentleman, bro.
Gentleman and a scholar.
Yeah.
So, talk to me about Mr. Iglesias. You got that role at what age?
Probably like 19.
19?
Yeah.
And how was that experience working with Fluffy?
Great. Another great person.
That was so dope, huh?
He's so dope, bro. Same thing. People go crazy for Gabriel. Gabe, I always say the same thing. I have admired Gabe for the longest as an artist, as a stand-up. Before I knew him, I admired Gabe as an artist. As a person, I admire Gabriel as a person. And that's what I tell everyone. Gabe is dope. He's probably the funniest person I know. As far as comics go, Gabe has been nothing but welcoming to me, welcoming to like even my family when they'd come on set. He's dope, man. He's someone who I was so happy that he could have his show and just run the set the way he wanted to, man, you know?
Yeah. He seems like a great guy. You know?
Gabriel's
like a really giving guy.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
But how was it like working with him like on set?
You know, Gabriel's really laid back. I think he goes through so much on tour and with the stand-up. I felt like when he would get to our set, it was almost like his downtime. Like, all I gotta do is read these lines and prep for the day that we shoot. All right, so I was catching Gabriel, it seemed like, at his chillest. Gabe and I think Gabe and I had great chemistry on screen. I think during the audition process, they wanted someone to come in and kind of match Gabriel's energy. And I remember reading that and being like, nah, I don't think that's going to work. I love Gabe, and I don't say this as a knock, but no one wants to watch a show with two fluffies. You want to watch a show with Gabe and a different dynamic to add to that so they can play off each other. So I went in with a completely different vibe. And I think that's worked. I think it worked. I think it's what got me the role, and I think it's what made the show interesting. You know, I wasn't going to be like Gabe's echo. You know, I felt like no one's going to want to see that. Bring something different. So I think it played off really well. I think culturally, Gabe and I are pretty similar. We're both Southern California. We both know and recognize the similar parts of the city. Like, that's the dope thing about Gabe. It's like he was the number one on set, and I got to set, and I could talk to him about like a restaurant out in Long Beach or a restaurant out in like Downey, Southgate, whatever. Gabe knew, bro. Gabe just knew. He'd been around the same areas as me, and that's cool because it's not often that I get to work with someone that relates that much. Sometimes Gabe would he would vent to me in Spanish about stuff that was going on set. So it was like, all right, cool. Gabe would just be like, mira este güey. All right, I catch what you're putting down. So it was great, man. I love Gabriel.
It seems like I have that trait too. It seems like when I get mad, the Mexican comes out of me.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't curse in English when I'm mad.
Yeah.
It comes out in Spanish.
Yeah.
Hijo de su puta madre, hijo de la chingada. And then I look back and I'm like, damn, I just turned into my dad.
Yeah.
That's what just happened right now.
Yeah.
You know? Like, now that I brought this up, I'm the chillest driver probably in all of Southern California. I'm chill. I don't speed. I just speed limit my tunes. And some fool cut me off, and I was making a left. Anyways, long story short, he starts tripping. So then I get upset. And then it goes to Spanish. Meta la chingada, cabrón. And then I'm like, and for a second, I turn into my parents. So That was kind of funny. That's why I brought that up.
Just sounds a little better.
It sounds way better.
Comes
Way
out
cooler.
yeah,
More satisfying.
yeah.
Like, if you did no, chinga tu madre, way. Like, it sounds.
It's poetic.
Yes, you know what I mean? It's just.
Yeah.
If you would have seen. Oh, man.
Went to the LAFC game and you're cussing that fool out, bro.
In Spanish, bro, it just comes out of me. In Spanish. I'm like the chillest guy.
Yeah.
But I think when you get me to that point, I'm just like, I act like my dad. I act like my mom. Like, so I kind of relate to that, brother. Do you curse in Spanish?
Yeah. When I get mad, definitely the Spanish comes out, which is crazy because I didn't really grow up hearing my parents cuss in Spanish. My mom would get mad, but she never really cussed. I mean, don't get me wrong. Her voice would go high, and, stuff would happen. But, like, as far as that, no. I think I was raised by my grandmother early on in my life.
Okay.
And my grandmother's house was my grandmother, my grandfather, and my uncle. So I think I picked up their
that's where you got it from.
That's where it comes from.
You got the good,
Yeah.
the good cuss words
Yes.
that weren't allowed. You know, I grew up with my dad just throwing bombs all the time. Like, damn, bro, chill. Like, why are you so angry? So, running point.
Yes.
That's pretty dope.
It is.
A lot of people don't know that's based on Jeanie Buss.
Mm-hmm. Loosely based.
Loosely. It's not like...
It's not the Lakers. And
yeah.
it's not Jeanie. But, they took a little bit from her life and worked the show around it. A lot of people I've seen in the comments sections are like, wow, you're just ripping off Jeanie Buss. Yes, Jeanie Buss is our executive producer.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Now let's get back to the episode.
Because people are like, wow, is this show based on Jeanie Buss? What is this? I'm like, yeah, dude. Jeanie Buss is the executive producer. You're right. Yeah. She's involved.
So I'm a big Laker fan, so how is it? She's executive producing the show.
Yeah.
So you get to deal with Jeanie Buss,
Yes, bro.
Kate Hudson.
Yes.
Bro, how's that experience, bro?
So cool, bro.
Must be the coolest.
So cool, man. So cool, man. I mean, just like, I'd actually never been to a Laker game. Never been to a Laker game before the show. And just to be so fortunate to have Jeanie be like, hey, come out to the Laker game. And
I'm open for a +1, bro. I'm just saying.
know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Her and Linda Rambis have been nothing but nice, and they're always so. And Linda's son Jordan have been so nice and willing to host us whenever, and they're just watching them at work because they come from a sports background and they're treating the show, I feel like, in that same way. They're putting their best. They're like, you feel the little bit of competitive air. They're so excited, and when the show was like getting set to release, just the anticipation and doing all that, it's dope, man. It's dope.
Cause she's a competitor.
Yeah.
Damn, I mean, they only won 17 championships. Only.
Yeah, Jeannie's.
How does someone get a role like that? Like, does your agent have to submit like a resume? Like, this is me asking as a fan now.
Yeah, so I guess the way it can work is like, all right, word on the street is they're casting for this role. Either some agent starts submitting to the casting directors their talent, who they think would be right for the role. Other times the casting office itself sends out kind of like a notice to all the agents in the city. Hey, or not just in the city, East Coast, West Coast, whatever, maybe Texas gets in on it, just all around, a blast. We're looking for, in this case, someone to play Jackie Moreno. He needs strong comedic chops, come from a Latino background, blah, blah, blah. You got the character description, slim, whatever. And then your agent, again, either submit you, right, or they get the call and they either way you get submitted.
Mm-hmm.
You get submitted to go in. They send you what are called sides, which is the lines, maybe 2 scenes tops from the show, and then you memorize whatever, I would hope, You memorize it, and then you either go in person to a casting session with like an audition, and you're opposite the casting director. You read, they get you on tape. If they like you, they'll bring you back for a callback. If they like you, they'll probably bring you back for a producer session. If they're considering you heavily and you're up against someone else, you go to a network session, which is like Netflix or anybody would be at that session. And the writers and just everyone gets to see you in person. My process was a little different. Since the pandemic, we've kind of gone away from the in-person thing, and we're doing everything kind of through Zoom, or you send everything what's called self-tape. So I got to do my audition self-tape. I filmed it in my house, sent it into the casting office. They watched it. I got a callback. I did the callback. After the callback, they said, hey, we want to just do a producer session. We're going to loop in Mindy, Ike, and Dave, which are our showrunners. And I did the session with them. And after that, I had gotten the role.
How'd you feel?
Bro, so good. Man, are you kidding me? It's just so exciting, bro, because like I said, you feel fortunate to work. You feel fortunate enough to work. And when you can get something like a running point, when you can get something like this where you're like, this is your home for the next couple years, you're going, I'm glad this is the one. I'm glad it's a show that I'm definitely passionate about. I don't have to, I mean, you're fortunate to work, but like you don't dread showing up to set. Like, you know, it's a show. It's not a show that you're like, we'll see how this goes type of situation. It just felt like coming from a place where it was like, dude, I'm still trying. But it just didn't, it just had this kind of vibe that felt big, bro.
You think it has a lot to do with it that it's being filmed here? And now you feel like this is home. Or is it? It is being filmed.
Yeah. It is. I mean, Iglesias was filmed here too. A lot of stuff that I've worked on has been filmed here. I think I didn't even consider them filming anywhere else, to be honest. It could have, but since it was so tied to LA, that's special. It just, you know what it was for me, bro, at the foundational level, it was the material. It was the writing. As soon as I read the two scenes that I was given, I said, oh man, this is where people with talent meet people with resources, and it just gives it everything. Cause sometimes it's like, all right, they have the talent, but they don't have the resources to fund this show the way it should be, right? And this was just one of those things where it seemed like it was being backed by everyone. It just felt like it had a lot of support, and it was dope. It was dope, and the character that I get to play, I'm in love with, bro. Like I love playing Jackie Moreno.
It's dope.
Yeah.
How was the first day on the set?
I've been asked this question before, and it's grand, it's good, but I'll be real with you. My first day on set wasn't my first day actually working. Because I went to set because I had to get fitted for clothes throughout the season. Okay. I went to set. I went to say hi to the writers and whatnot. So I had kind of been around in a more of a social kind of setting. I'll tell you the day that felt really grand, though, was the day that I walked into the arena. Because they had built an arena. We didn't shoot at Staples. We didn't shoot at Crypto. They built an arena on a sound stage. I get there, I see the basketball court, the seats. As soon as I walk in, they're about to do like some sort of lighting test, you know? So it was off. It was almost like a movie, bro. As soon as I stepped foot in, they plugged it in, and all the lights went up for the arena. All the like advertisements on the side, you know, as if you were at a real game. The scoreboard went up. Everything turned on at the same time. And then they right after that, they ran like a test for what would be like the dancers, kind of like when the Laker girls dance. You know, the lights get dim, they shoot different color lights. So they did that. I walked into a light show at the arena. Dude, it felt
Damn.
so special, bro. It was great. It was
I
great.
would just say, damn, I'm going to be here. This is home.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and my first actual day on set, I was doing a scene, thank God, with all of them. It was a scene in which, if someone's seen it in episode 1, where I'm cutting the meat.
And then it sprays on her?
Yes. So that was
okay.
that was one of the first days, and it was so exciting to me because there's so much they don't use, because once we finish the scene, like once we get all our lines out, we just start improvising, and watching everyone improvise once we cleared the scene and me getting to be a part of that and chime in, bro, it was so dope. It was great.
I could just imagine when they say cut, like, what are the conversations that happen after? Like, I'm just like I wonder what Fabricio's telling Kate. Like, what's up? Like, you like Mexican food? Like, I just think about shit like that. Like what's the what are the conversations that happen after? Or is it just like a job? Everybody's like, all right, we're done.
No, bro.
That's what I want to know.
That's a whole other show in itself.
I could just imagine, bro.
That's a whole other show, dude. I'm on a show with some of the funniest people in the city right now. Like I'm talking about people that have years worth of training at improv, places that specialize in improv comedy, sketch comedy. These people are so good at what they do, man, and just as people, they're hilarious. They're hilarious. My girlfriend got a chance to meet. She's met everyone, but she got a chance to meet Scott MacArthur, right, who plays my older brother in the series, who plays the GM of the Los Angeles Waves, Ness. And we watched another show that another director on our show is directing, and this was before my show came out, and she was like, oh, is your show going to be similar to this? And is it going to be this funny? And I was like, I just got to tell you one thing. We have Scott. And she knew exactly what that meant, because the dude is hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Like, actually working with Scotty, I feel like Scotty might tone it down for interviews or podcasts, but if you're around this person, Scotty's one of the funniest people I know.
Is he just on all the time?
Yeah. Scotty's hilarious.
What have you learned from this cast? Like on a personal level, on a professional level?
Like I said, I've never been to a Laker game. I wasn't too well versed in basketball. From Brenda Song, I learned a lot from basketball. She's a huge basketball fan. She even got like a championship ring.
No way.
Yeah. Brenda kind of guided me through like trade rumors. I'd show up every day, talking to her about the game because she's so passionate about it, and she served as a really good guide as far as that goes. And just lovely conversation. I love Brenda. From the other people on set, I still don't know what I've learned as an artist because I just have fun with them. But I find myself being a lot more quiet when I'm in their presence because I just want to listen to everything that they say. I can't emphasize enough how funny they are. And they literally, and everything I learned has just been about like relationships and life, and they're not really talking about their career, bro. They're talking about just like their relationships and past and just
like life in general, right? It really doesn't have to do with. That's dope though. I would want to I just think because Kate Hudson is she's huge. So I'm like, I wonder what conversations Fabricio's having with her.
It's good because this is gonna sound crazy, bro. I hope it's not taken out of context because I feel like it's a weird world we live in right now. So anything that has to do with Hollywood and closed doors or whatever, people are already like, oh, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Chill. It's not that. I'm just saying it is it's a good sign when you come to places like this, when you're live and you're filming something and there's stuff you can't talk about. Because, and that doesn't mean Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's there. In the same way you go through things with your friends, I'm sure you guys have stuff that you guys have between you two that you wouldn't feel comfortable talking about.
Yes.
Because, you know what I mean? It's that same thing.
I think it's more also the respect, factor, and like you're like, I wouldn't want to put that out there, but it's super dope. You know?
Yeah.
It's like a conversation behind closed doors.
Yes.
That's dope, man. She seems really cool to work with, bro. Kate Hudson. Like, if I was an actor, I'd be like, I want to work with her. She seems like fucking funny, bro.
She's
like,
laid back, dude. She shows up with the biggest smile. I know she got a million things going on. I know it because I see it. I'm watching her when we're in makeup in the morning, and she's like doing a commercial that she's sending on the phone so they can use the audio for like some sort of skincare. I'm seeing this. She's busy, very busy, and she shows up, dude, and she works through everything effortlessly and has fun the whole time. The whole time, bro.
It seems that she's just naturally funny.
Yes.
Like, she's just good in like she's just funny.
She's funny, and she allows everyone around her to be funny.
How is Jeanie Buss? I don't know much about her. I just know that she's Jerry Buss's daughter, just one of the just owns the Lakers, like
Dope. She's Jeanie Buss, bro. I'll tell you, I feel like this can say who she is better than I can actually use words to tell you. We had just rapped. I got to the rap party. I saw Jeanie. I went to say hi to her. We spoke for a little bit. She's so excited about the show, about my character. She'll be like, "Oh, my brother," right? She calls me like her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And she started talking to me about my casting process and how she would just love what I did when I sent in the tape, and they knew that I'd be playing Jackie, and they really wanted me to play Jackie. And I was like, yeah, I told her, thank God that I had already done Mr. Iglesias with Netflix. I said, I feel like that helped get the role. And she looked at me and she said, no, it didn't help. You got this role because you got this role.
Wow.
And that's back to the survival and thriving kind of mindset, bro. I mean, it's important to do everything you did in your past, but just recognize where you're at. And she had to let me know in that moment. I was like, oh, I'm dealing with a champion.
She reinforced.
Yeah. As
The
if I was a
fact that-
player, bro.
The fact that you belong here.
Yeah,
You belong here.
exactly. As you would a player.
Damn, Jeanie Buss. Salute to you.
Yeah.
That's dope to me. But they have the winning mentality. They have the thriving mentality.
Exactly.
And that's dope right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then that needs to carry on for our future generations. That we need to let our kids know, our relatives, like, we belong here. Like, always have that mentality of thriving, not surviving.
Yeah.
And that's fucking dope, bro. That's super dope. What's next for you, aside from this dope-ass show on Netflix?
Man, I feel like that's got a big chunk of my year now. Still like easing my way through press with season 1, but thank God we got a season 2. So I should be starting that halfway through the year. Other than that, stand up, I know I think I'm gonna start to dive into some press with a short animated film that I did with Xbox. That I think is their first animation film that Xbox Studios has done. So, yeah.
So talk to me about the stand-up.
Yeah.
Acting came first. What made you say, you know what? I want to go try that.
I didn't. and this is one of the dopest, I think, stand-up stories ever, bro. If I have to acknowledge.
Exclusive right here.
I have to acknowledge. I think I had one of the best first times ever. I went to a party at Gabe's compound, Fluffy, right? And that morning I had opened up my email and I had an ad from like the Brea Improv. Fluffy Gabriel Iglesias is performing at the Brea Improv from this weekend to this weekend, whatever. I get to the party. I see Gabe. I'm about to like say what's up. I go, hey Gabe, I saw that you're doing the Brea Improv. I'm gonna be there. He goes, yeah. I'll send you tickets so you can go to the show at the Brea Improv. I go, perfect, bro. I'm excited. And then he holds my gaze for a moment and he looks at me. And he goes, you know what? Open up for me. I go, dog, what? I go, bro, Gabe, I don't do stand-up. Like, you know me from the show. He goes, do 5 minutes. Just get up there, open up for me. Alfred Robles is around, and then, like, G. Riley is around, and they hear this, so they come and press me, and they're like, bro, open up for Gabriel. You know, that was my impression of Alfred.
Come on,
hey,
fool. Come on, fool.
And then, and I'm like, guys, bro, I don't do stand-up, bro. Like, that's a whole other ball game. And then G looks at me, who also I consider one of my godfathers in comedy. G looks at me and he goes, man, what's the worst thing that can happen? They don't laugh. And G, if you're watching this, that's not the worst thing that can happen. I've told this to many comics. People have had drinks thrown at them. But that having G tell me the worst thing that happens, they don't laugh. I said, all right, you're right. I was considering it. My mom was at the party too. I brought her with me. And she heard this. And I mean, I already talked about my mom. How do you think that went?
Oh, yeah. She's like, he's doing it.
No way out, right? Gabriel goes, all right, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Come up with 5 minutes. Oh, shit, okay. So, like, 4 days pass by, and I've made my 5 minutes, right? I already wrote my 5 minutes. It actually found me, I think, with some ease. I feel like life was on my side. But the confidence, bro, thinking that I was going to go up there and have to say these 5 minutes was the real battle, was that I had to find the confidence. I had to find how I was going to do this. And people go, oh, well, you did the live show with Gabriel. You did this. It's different. Stand-up is
super different.
At least in my mind, it's different. The day rolls around. I'm like pumping myself up, bro. I couldn't eat that morning. So nervous. I get to the Brea Improv. I go and I sit in the green room with, again, Alfred, G, Martin Moreno, and Gabe. Gabe is right there, and funny enough, they're watching the Laker game. They have the Laker game on the TV in the green room, and they're super chill. They're just like laying down. Gabriel's got his 2 dogs with him, and everyone's just kind of hanging out. And I'm like,
oh, you're all fucking shitty bricks.
Anytime. I don't know what's gonna happen, right? I go. The show starts, right? I'm getting ready. Martin's about to call me up. Martin calls me up. I go. At the time, someone that works with Gabe, Maribel, she walks me over there and she makes me feel good. She's like, hey, just go and do it, right? I step out there. I do my first joke, bro. I'm like, I feel like I'm blinded by the lights. I feel like there's a lot going on. I don't know how to
because the lights hit you direct.
Yes, but it's not that. My heart is beating so much, bro, that I feel like it's affecting my eyesight. Like, bro, like I felt like my heart was pumping up here, like that, bro. So I say my second joke, and the joke kills. Like, it gave me a good chunk of time. It was probably like probably 10 seconds that I was able to go, I'm waiting for the laughter. I'm here. I'm present. I felt my feet touch the ground. It's like, all right, I'm in this. I can do this. Just take it a joke at a time. And then I had people laughing at the setups before I even got to the punchline. I was like, oh shit, I'm here. I'm doing this. Bam, bam, bam. I get off. I see the light. My 5 minutes are up. I step off the stage and I see all of them in the green room, and they're all on their feet. And they have me on the live feed. They were watching me, and they're all excited as hell, bro. They're all super excited. I don't know if they were playing it cool just to not get me nervous when I had walked in. The first person I see is Gabriel, and he gives me a hug, and he's like, bro, that joke that you did, it killed me. And yeah, that was my first time.
Which one was a joke?
You really want to know it?
Hell yeah.
This is perfect, bro. I have a cousin named Junior.
Oh, shit.
And I don't know why they call him Junior. Junior don't got a dad.
Oh, damn.
And there's a whole bit attached to that, but that was the gist.
That's hilarious, actually. I don't know how. He's Junior, but that fool's dad's not around. Fuck. So that was the start of something that you were like, huh?
I walk
I
off
could
that
do this.
stage a different person, bro. Yeah. I felt like there was a new purpose in my life. I walked off that stage a different person. I felt like it was a missing piece of like me. I felt like, wow.
So Gabriel did something bigger than what he thinks.
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't. No, it's not maybe. It was in your cards.
Yeah.
Was probably filling a little void that you probably had. And you're like, this is pretty cool. After that, how many other shows have you done?
I can't keep count, but a lot.
Okay, when is your next show? I will be there.
On Thursday.
Where?
It's Pop the Cork, I think on Olympic with Narciso.
Where is it at? It's close by?
Yeah, but it's a small ass place. I don't think you would want to go there. But we'll go to the next one. We'll do the next one.
Yeah, small. Well, for
Yeah,
you, I'll go.
that's a bar show.
For you, I'll go.
Right. That's a bar show. Appreciate it.
Make it happen. It's not far from us. It's local. I want to see you.
What's it called? I have a good relationship with the Laugh Factory in Long Beach, and they put me up at the Spanglish shows. So
And when is that one?
I don't know. I just did one last month with them. So Mel, the booker, kind of likes to space it out. He don't like
Okay.
to put me.
Well, let's look into the Thursday one, and we'll look at the schedule, and I would want to go.
Yeah,
I
would love to have
bro,
you.
it's so hard. That's why I give you guys props. Like, I can't go up that stage and just stand there and have everybody just staring at me and be funny. That shit is hard. So I give it. I'm funny, but I'm funny in spurts. Like, I can't stand there.
I recently had like my uncles give me props, right? And they're old school, bro. Like these guys are old school. My tío Mauricio, he goes, no, lo que hace el Fabricio está bien difícil. And it was like the first time I had ever gotten credit. And then I go, sí, está difícil. And my tío Ramiro sitting next to him. And then I go, es difícil porque yo llego y les digo, los voy a hacer reír. Y la gente se tiene que reír. My tío Ramiro goes, pues dile que lo vas a hacer enojar y los hace reír, güey.
When your straight up Mexican uncles give you props, that's big, bro.
Yeah.
Man. Any questions?
No.
You know, he's a comic.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
You're just
'Cause
telling me.
I never ran
Yeah.
into him in the scene,
No.
you know? And we were around the same similar people. I did some shows with Alfred Wolf,
Mhm.
you know, with Valentino, you know. But small world, bro. You know?
It's just, I give you a lot of props. It's just,
Thank you, bro.
it's a lot. I mean, you're doing a lot, but it's super dope to see somebody like you on the big screen because it reminds me of us.
Mm.
You know?
Appreciate
It
it.
just shows us that, more importantly, not just us, the kids that grow up in these neighborhoods, that grow up in Huntington Park, Bell, Southgate, Whittier, that they could come out on TV. They could be stars.
It's exciting, bro. It's exciting because we're some of the funniest people you will ever meet.
Yes, we are.
You know what I mean? And sometimes I feel like, damn, it's unfortunate that the world doesn't speak Spanish because we say some of the funniest shit in Spanish. And it's unfortunate that you won't understand it. But exactly what you're talking about, bro, when I'm on screen, I want to bring that comedy to the screen.
And some of the funniest shit we say
And do.
is in Spanish. It just sounds funnier. Like, no mames, güey. You know, even when I cursed that guy out when I had the little road rage incident,
Yeah.
like if I would have had a camera, it would have gone viral. Excuse my language. This is what I said. Dale, pendejo, ¿qué estás esperando, hijo de tu pinche madre? Because he kept on fucking flipping me off. And I'm like, hijo de tu puta madre, cabrón. ¿Qué no miras, baboso? And then, it just sounds hilarious.
Yeah.
You know? So.
I have a question.
What's up?
So, I feel like, do you build these relationships with these people that you're working with, or they kind of just like working peers, or like have you gotten close to any of the people you work with? That
It's like anything, both, bro. Both, yeah. You know, some people you form a connection with, other people the opportunity maybe didn't present itself, or like, you know, it's just natural. Yeah, it's just natural. Yeah, there's a couple people on the show, more than a couple people on the show that like I'm on a group text with and I talk to and stay in touch. And then there's other people that I'll see them when I see them when we're back. Yeah, thankfully I don't dislike anyone, bro.
That's great, actually.
who's that one person that you have on your phone that you're like, fuck, I can't believe that, like, we text every now and then, or often, or like you said, a group text, that like a celebrity. Maybe.
Like, which one is like the biggest name that you have on your contacts right now that you're like, fuck, I have this guy's number and I could call him if I want some advice.
You know what feels cool is dude, there's a lot, but I'm just not one to really stay in touch. But the idea to me that I can be like, hey, is there any seats for the Lakers tonight? And have that's crazy. Because there's a lot
That's
of
a flex.
There's a lot of,
that's a flex.
There's
dog.
a lot of actors. There's a lot of actors that maybe I could keep in touch with or text that are definitely on my phone, but I don't. But like, just having someone tell me, hey, text me when you want tickets. You need to come to a game. That's
you know what's crazy? That he could really just text her right now, like, hey, I want to bring JR and JT floor seats. Damn, fool, that's a flex. I'm just kidding. I understand what you're saying, though. I have people on my phone that I've never, but I'm not the type of dude that would,
I guess you just have to be responsible with it, right? I think
and I think it separates you from others. You know, there's people that won't know how to handle that shit, and it would probably be every other day, like, hey, we just got Luca. What's up? You know what I mean?
I'm big on. I don't like to invite myself places, so I won't reach out. I like to get invited.
I feel you, but you're gonna have to sacrifice right here. Nah, just kidding. Bro. Are you a basketball expert now after being around Jeanie and this show?
I wouldn't say expert, bro. No, I've tried my best, and I'm in the process of learning about the game, but I've seen expert.
She's another level, huh?
Yeah, a lot of people on the show, they know.
So as I'm watching the show, I'm like, I wonder if LeBron didn't really know that AD was getting traded. And I wonder, or is it just for like somebody had to have known. You know what I mean? So I wonder that shit. I mean, of course, Jeanie made the call, but it's like she didn't tell LeBron. I don't know. It's kind of fishy.
Maybe he didn't want to know, bro.
Yeah, you're right. Because you have no control of it. So don't tell me. He's my boy. Don't tell me. So second season is gonna come out when?
No date yet.
No date yet?
No date. I don't know. I mean, we haven't even started, so.
Where can people follow you on social media?
Instagram is my name, Fabricio Guido. I know I have a Twitter. It's not even Twitter anymore. To be honest, I haven't posted. It's X, but it's just same thing, Fabricio Guido 1. TikTok, I think it's Fabricio_Guido, but I think I just have it down as like El Fabi.
Okay.
My handle. Yeah.
Before we go, I want to know where your last name Guido what part of Mexico does it come from?
Italy. So I'll break it down.
She's like, Italia.
So
oh, really?
what happened was
A ver.
my great grandfather came from Italy to Sonora, and he started his family in Sonora, Mexico. So I guess Sonora. I don't know much about my Italian side. I ain't been to Italy. I don't speak Italian, bro. So no one talked to me in Italian yet. I'll try and take Duolingo from now until whenever. But yeah, my grandfather came from Italy to Sonora. He started his family, and
But why Sonora?
I don't know, bro. I ask myself that
Yeah,
all the
like,
time.
because I know it was more common for Koreans to be in TJ.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think there was a war. And then
Actually-
that was common. So for me, it's like, I wonder why.
Sonora's got a ton of mines, and my grandfather, I think, was working for one of the mines or came to help them out with.
That makes sense.
I think my dad said he was an accountant or something like that, which is crazy because I'm not an accountant. And he came to Sonora to do that. Cananea specifically, if any of my Sonora people are out there.
So it's Italian, not Mexican, but technically he lived there, so he's, you know?
Yeah, well, so like that side is Italian, Mexican, and then on my mom's side, they're from Guanajuato.
Oh,
Yeah,
So Sonora and Guanajuato.
Sonora and Guanajuato.
have you been to Sonora?
Yeah, bro.
How is it?
I like Sonora a lot. I love Sonora. I don't know what it is. If my grandmother was raised there. I have so much fun when I'm in Sonora. I love the food.
Do you like the tacos over there?
Yeah, bro. Bacon wrap, yeah, bro. Sonora gets down.
The bacon ones?
They have their own little style.
A lot of people don't know because they think the Sonoran desert. They don't know that Sonora has beaches. The beaches in Sonora are gorgeous, bro.
Really?
Oh yeah, I spend my time there. Like if I can vacation or if I can go somewhere, I go to the beaches out in Sonora.
Golfo de Mexico is what the beach that they have?
No,
or is it like lakes?
No, the Gulf is like on the Texas side. That's on Texas. This would be what is it? Sea of Cortez. It's like that. So you have like Baja California in between that pocket. Beautiful, bro. Good seafood. Good, just all around.
I'm gonna have to take a vacation right there, my brother.
Yeah, Sonora's fun, and then I feel like a lot of humor in Sonora too.
That's what's up, my brother. Well, thank you so much for stopping by
Hey.
True Hustle Podcast.
A pleasure, bro.
I know you're a busy man, but you made it happen for us, and I'm thankful for Jay Valentino for making the introduction.
Shout out Jay. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Kind guy, bro.
And I can't wait for you guys to do a show.
Me and Jay?
Yeah, that'll be dope.
Like a TV show, you mean?
No, like a comedy.
Oh yeah. I went and did
or TV.
a guest.
You know,
yeah.
fuck it. Let's throw it out there. Throw it out there in the universe.
I just did a guest spot for Jay maybe like a week ago. But bro, Jay at the Haha, yeah. But if that's what's going on tour, wants to take me or whatever, bro, I'm there. I love just watching him too, bro.
He's full of energy, huh?
Yeah. Jay's a good time on stage.
Have you seen him DJ?
No, not in person. He does like his.
It's like his comedy's on point. DJ, the energy. It's because he
I
has
bet.
so much energy.
Yeah.
And it's contagious. You know what I mean? So when that happens, I'm there also. Supporting you
bro.
guys.
I'll see you there.
1000%, man. Thank you so much. When you do season number 2, you might want to have to come back again, bro.
Hey, bro, I'm here.
You know what I mean?
I'm here.
And for those of you that have not watched Running Point on Netflix, y'all need to watch it. Go support my boy
Go be on point.
and be on point. Let's go, baby. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss our weekly episodes. Let's go, baby.